Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Delaney and this is Organized Adult, where I teach you the things that you can't learn in school. So today I'm going to be going through my full face makeup routine. This is the end result right here, my face. I just love the power of makeup and the confidence that it brings you, whether you're going throughout your school day or your work day or just a day at home or whatever. I just love going from zero makeup, which you'll see in a minute, to this full face of makeup. It just gives me an extra boost of confidence. And no, I don't need to wear makeup to feel confident. It's just, an extra thing that I do for myself. I don't think I've ever put on makeup for someone else. It's just kind of for myself to feel good and right and happy in whatever situation that I'm in. So this routine that I'm about to go through, it only takes me about 20 minutes on, an average weekday morning if I'm not in a rush, but if I'm trying to do things quickly so that I can get out the door. All of the products that I use are really cheap, all drugstore, Target, Walmart products. I'm not going to be going through the brushes that I use today, just because I don't want this video to be too long, which I have a feeling it already is going to be. So I'm just going to be going through the products that I use, and obviously what I use them for. Again, I'm not going to be talking about how I organize my makeup. That's a whole nother video or topic within itself. I'm just going to be talking about, again, the products, what I use them for, how I apply them, the techniques that I use to apply them, etc. So with that, let's get into the tutorial. Okay guys, so the first thing that I would normally do is just kind of wipe my face down. And I apologize in advance for any background noise as far as crinkling from this or drawers opening on my makeup drawers, just because I know it can be annoying, but I wanted to make this as real as possible and not lay out all my stuff ahead of time or anything like that, or I want to be able to show you guys the product. So these are just the refreshing wet cleansing towelettes from Target. They're just the Up and Up brand. I got these instead of the makeup remover ones just because I feel like they do just as good of a job, and they're a little bit cheaper, and you get 30 instead of 25 inside of them. So I would just take one of these, and the first thing I would do is just kind of wipe down my face a little bit. Just kind of get any of the areas that didn't come off last night. Under the eye, the eyebrows, kind of under and around the nose, the chin, a little bit behind the ears, whatever. And then I will keep this wet towel just out so that when I'm doing my other makeup and I, mess up or get something somewhere, I can just use it. So, like I said, I'm not going to be going through my brushes today, just the products that I use on my face and, eyeshadow, mascara, etc. So, the first thing that I usually do is my foundation. Now, sometimes I use primer, sometimes I don't. I don't really have a good one on me today, so I'm just going to skip it for this tutorial. So what I normally do is first of all, this is the, this is the Maybelline Fit Me Foundation in 112 Natural Ivory, Matte and Poreless. And this is a really great foundation, for me at least. I feel like it's lightweight and really has good coverage, and I just like it. So what I'll do is I'll take a bit of the product on my finger, and I'll just kind of dab it all over my face. And I just kind of put it all over so that I know that I have enough product all over my face to be able to provide a good level of foundation all over that covers all the areas that I want it to. Okay, so that should be enough. Let me just close that up, and then I have some extra product on my hands, so I just wipe it off with this wet wipe, like I said before. And I'm just going to take my foundation brush and blend that in all over my face. Okay, cool. So as you can see, that provides a good base level of coverage. Now I would move into my under eye concealer, which is just the CoverGirl Ready Set Gorgeous in Fair. And all of these products, like I said, you can buy at Target or a drugstore. And it says product 5273. I don't have an exact number on it, but basically it just has this little spoolie end, and I go under my eyes just to brighten them up, fill in any lines that I have, hide any dark circles, etc. Okay, and as you can see, I have done this in kind of like a downward facing funnel or triangle on my face, because if you just fill it in like, you know, like straight across, then it's going to look really like fragmented on your face. And I've also added some extra lightness to my T-zone, as it's called, just like the middle of my eyebrows, the end of my nose, and my chin right here. So I'm going to go ahead and blend those in. Okay, so all of those areas are blended in pretty nicely, and I like the coverage of it, and I like how it just brightens my face up, and you'll see this all come together in a little bit. So now that I kind of have the base of my face, I rhymed, done, I go in with just this e.l.f. All over face powder. It's in the color Ivory, and I just kind of use my powder brush and do a layer of powder all over the wet product that we just applied. And this is a good way to just like super mattify it and kind of lock it in. Okay, so now we're going to get into a little bit of contouring. So the two things that I use to contour, so if I'm in a rush, then, which I'm not today, then I would just go ahead and use my e.l.f. Blush palette in this darker shade right here, and I would just take, where is it, this angled brush that I have, and just kind of do that and go into the sides of my face like this and do a super quick contour that way. But because I'm not in a rush, I'm going to show you guys my legit contour method. So this is another Fit Me product. It's just their all over coverage sticks. I don't remember the exact name. I don't have the cover for it, but I just got one that was obviously way too dark for my skin tone. This one is 340 Cappuccino, and basically it's just a super easy to use stick. So I'm just going to go in on the sides of my nose, as you can see, and then I usually make a fish face, and then I just kind of fill in my cheekbone area here with it. So and the mistake that I used to make with these lines is I would put them too low. Ooh, I don't want to drag it. I would put them too low, and then it kind of like it makes you look like you have a beard or something. Like, it doesn't look that good. So you just want to make sure that you do it high enough and that it's even enough on both sides. And then I go in, I have a big forehead. If you don't have a big forehead, then you probably don't need to do this, but I have a big forehead, so I go in and I just kind of do the outline of my forehead. And this might look ridiculous right now, but you'll see in a couple seconds it definitely adds some color. Okay, so now that that's on my face, I take my same blender brush and I basically just blend it in. I should have have said that whenever you're blending, you want to blend kind of like away from your face. You never want to blend in. You always want to do it away from your face so that any extra product or stuff can just kind of go into your ear or disappear into your hairline or whatever. You don't want it to be like excessively on your face, if that makes sense. Okay, so now my contouring is all done, and it doesn't have to be perfect. As you can just see, it kind of adds a little dimension to my face and kind of stops it from being just like this pale blah. It adds some dimension to it adds some color to it, etc. So now we're going to move on to highlighting, and I did originally, back when I first got into contouring, buy the same type of stick, only in the color that's, you know, too light, a little bit too light for my face. Porcelain 110, but I've kind of gotten away from using that product for highlighting, and I really just prefer the e.l.f. highlighter. It comes, you know, in this double-ended product. Half of it is e.l.f. Conceal, and the other half is e.l.f. Highlight. I don't really use the conceal as much anymore. I used to use it under my eyes until I found the CoverGirl product that I like, but as you can see, this is obviously super white, but it doesn't really come off that way. It comes more off as like a shimmer, which I like. So again, it comes off in just like a spoolie like this, and I just put it at the tops of my cheekbones, and then I do a straight line down my nose, and then I'll do a little bit up here, a little bit down here. And then I usually like to lighten up this area under my nose. So yeah, I guess I do use the concealer end of the product for that. So now, obviously, we want to blend it in, but I don't use as harsh of a blending brush as this one. I use more of like a lighter, looser one that just kind of keeps the product on the face without like blending it into the skin, if that makes sense. So I just kind of, like, you still want it to be there, but you don't want it to be, like, as harsh. Like, obviously, this is super white, and I don't want that on my face. I just kind of want the shimmer that comes with it, so this brush was a great way to do that. Okay, so now we have our highlighter blended in, or I have my highlighter blended in. And then I just kind of like to go over those same spots just with my mattifying powder, not to erase what I did, but just to kind of like lock everything in and just make sure that everything is set. Okay, so now I have a ton of face product on and nothing else, so I look kind of crazy. But the next step that I do is I fill in my eyebrows. This is the Revlon Brow Fantasy by Colorstay in dark blonde. They don't have an option for redheads, but I kind of like to keep my eyebrows like a dark blonde anyway. I wouldn't necessarily fill them in with red. And what I like about this is that half of it is a pencil, which I prefer to use, and half of it is a brow gel that matches. So I just kind of fill in more at the head, and then I mean, just kind of have to do what looks good for you. I've just kind of figured this out over the years. Like, I don't go crazy with my eyebrows because I do have such light skin, and my eyebrows are naturally, as you can see, there's like a big difference already, so I don't want to have like super defined eyebrows or anything, but this is just, you know, a good way to add some more definition to my face. Which, you know, using this much face product can kind of get washed out a little bit. And you just want to make sure that they're relatively even. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect. Like, I'm not going for like a super dramatic look here or anything. Okay, so now that they're filled in with the pencil, how I like, I go over them with the spoolie of gel. And I like this gel because it locks in the pencil. It locks in like the position of my eyebrow so I don't get like crazy eyebrow hair going every which way throughout the day, like in the wind or something. And it lightens up the color just like a tiny bit, which I like because I don't want it to look like I'm wearing, you know, an eyebrow pencil or that I filled in my eyebrows a bit. But so this kind of like makes it look a little bit more natural in my opinion. Okay, so now I'm going to move into how I do my eyeshadow. So I'm going to start with this Revlon, it's like almost like a liquid cream type of eyeshadow base. As you can see, it's just super neutral colors. It's the Revlon Illuminance Cream Shadow in Not Just Nude 710. I think I got this at Walmart. So I like to use the white color here. Oh, probably blinding you guys. I like to use this white color just to kind of do like a base on my eye, and the fact that it's, you know, a cream eyeshadow, I think my powder eyeshadows that I'm going to use kind of stick to it better. So I use the Urban Decay Naked brush for this, and I use the bigger end, and I'm just kind of go in and do like an all over coverage. I like to even go up to my eyebrow just to make sure that it's all the same color and to lighten it up and to provide a platform for the rest of my eyeshadow to stick to. Okay, so now that that is done, I move into the Naked palette by Urban Decay, you know, the palette that everybody has and everybody talks about. I really love it. I just have the original one. And so basically I'm just going to start by filling in the main color, the main light color that I want, and then I go into the dark color, and then I go into the highlights. So I think today the base color that I'm going to go with is Sin. It's kind of like this light pink color here, so I'm just going to take a ton of that and just kind of lay it all over, I have an itch, all over the main part of my eye. And I go up a little bit because I kind of have like sunken in, like this part of my eye is kind of sunken in a little bit. Like it's like a little bit saggy, so I like to bring the eyeshadow like almost up to the eyebrow, but not all the way. Okay, so now that I kind of have that base color that I'm trying to show you, I go in with the darker color that I kind of want to put on the outside of my eye, which for this lighter pink color, I think I'm gonna use this toasted color right here. I hope that you guys can see that. And I just take a bit on this rounder brush, and I just kind of like lightly place it on that outside part of my lid. Not blended yet. Just kind of put that color where I think I'm going to blend it. Okay, so as you can see, it's kind of even. It looked kind of ridiculous. But now we get into the blending part of it. So basically, I don't like to blend like all throughout my crease. I just like to blend where that color is, because I found that if I do it all throughout the crease, my entire eye kind of becomes this darker color, and I don't want that to happen. So I just blend out on the outside right here, and as you can see, you can already tell that there's a color difference. Okay, so now I have that part of my eyeshadow done. And then I'm going to take this super light color version on the end here, and I'm going to go on the inside part of my eye and highlight the brow arch on top here. Okay, so now we have our highlight done on our eyes. Now I'm going to go into my mascara. I don't use eyeliner just because sometimes I feel like I don't need it, or I'm not very good at it, or whatever. So I just use this Maybelline Mega Plush Volume Express mascara, and I'm just going to go ahead and apply that. Okay, and as you can see, I kind of got a little bit under my eye right there, so I'm just going to go ahead and wipe that off really lightly with the wet towelette that I kept from the beginning. Okay, and now my eyes are done. I really like them. I feel like there's enough color going on there. I really like it. Alright, so now we're going to move into the last couple things that I do, which is basically just my blush and then my lip color. So the blush, like I said before, the e.l.f. blush palette. For the blush that I'm going to be using, I really like this really light pink color up in the corner here for just a little bit of blush. I don't use a ton. And the way that I do it, I just kind of smile, and wherever my cheekbones are, I blush that area. So as you can see, just like a light brush of blush. And if I think it's too much, or I don't like where it fell, I'll just kind of blend it in a little bit with my finger. And then for lip color, the base color that I've really been loving lately is this Burt's Bees lip crayon in the color Sedona Sands 405. This is such like a good neutral lip color for me. I think I bought it at Target, and I just kind of go in and fill that in. As you can see, it took my lips from like nothing to, you know, a natural looking color at least. And then I like to add some gloss, so I'm going to go over with this NYX Butter Gloss in BLG05, which is Creme Brulee. Okay guys, so I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope that you'll subscribe if you did. The button's somewhere up here. And I encourage you to go over to the coordinating blog post that is always linked below for giveaway details, and as well as details on all the products that were used today, and links to where you can find them, purchase them if they're available. If they're not available, then I'll just say not available, but most of the products that I use are very common and very cheap and very easy to find, so I don't expect that being a problem. So I hope you guys enjoyed this walkthrough, and with that, I will see you in the next one. Bye guys!